Welcome to Dear Alice, a lifestyle approach to interior design.
Did you know that you can shop some of the products we talk about on our show? Find Dear Alice under our collections tab at the alicelanehome.com website. And for our listeners, we have a special code for you. You can get 10% off anything online. Just code Dear Alice 10. That's DEARALICE 10. Happy shopping and thanks for listening. Hey everyone, welcome to Dear Alice. This is Jess. I'm a Leo.
And the owner of Alice Lane. This is Suzanne, and I have three crazy boys, and I'm completely outnumbered. I'm the only lady up in this house.
Sue just had her third boy.
Yes. And darling little
it's her
hellions.
Middle child that's giving her the most hell right now.
It sure is. Yeah, ripping off diapers. Corey.
I am at Corey Place. CORIPLACE.
Look him up.
Yeah.
He's a musician.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's your sign?
I'm a Leo.
You are?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. What's your birthday?
July 24th.
You're
That's
like by
cute.
the skin of your teeth, the early Leo.
Yeah. I think I'm like a Cancer. Do they call it like a Cancer moon? Uh-huh. And when I read that, I'm literally like half and half.
Interesting.
So I'm like right on that.
I have no idea what I am, but when people meet me, they're like, "You're a Leo, right?"
Yeah, you're totally. Yeah,
and I'm
you're
like,
totally a Leo.
I don't know what that means, but I am
Obviously.
all in. Both feet. What are you, Sue?
I'm a Capricorn. It's weird that I was born in January. Don't you think that's weird?
Sue's is not.
I'm not a garnet.
When I look at Sue, I'm like, "You're a summer wherever you are."
I know.
Yeah, your birthday's in June, and she's like, "It's January."
Yeah, me and MLK and the garnets.
That's not right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or well, we love you anyway.
Oh, thanks, girl. Just born in the wrong month. That's
We
all.
love Sue Hall. She's the best. Guys, today we're talking about top 10 reasons to hire a designer.
Yep.
This is not a plug for you to hire Alice Lane. This is if hiring anybody, or if you don't, this is going to be the work that you should make sure and do for yourself. Because it's not something that you should phone in or take lightly. And let me tell you, you know yourself. If you're not a great decision maker, you're not going to be a good designer for yourself.
Yeah. You shouldn't build a house.
If
for
you
sure.
waffle on like, oh, I don't know what to do, and you get paralyzed and you don't want to answer, guess who makes the decision for you? Your builder. Based on what's in stock. Hey, there's only one option left here. So
I have some leftover from this like community center I did.
we're going to go ahead and
Leftover.
we're going to go ahead and go with the ugly one, you know, and then you're like, great, that's great. So you have to be a great decision maker, first of all.
I'm going to say this though. I'm not a designer at Alice Lane. I kind of feel like a third party a little bit because I get to see like through the window, like
You're an insider.
What you guys are doing, but you guys are the best in my opinion.
Stop, Corey.
And that's genuine. So
Thanks, Corey.
while this is not a plug
Appreciate
for
that.
Alice Lane,
Thanks.
I think everyone should hire you if they're wanting design services.
Non-biased opinions
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
That
Thanks,
is so
Corey.
sweet. Thanks,
Well,
Corey.
here's the things that I think hiring an interior designer can do for you and why it's important. And there's several articles that we've been reading to know like what other people say besides our own thoughts so that we could try and deliver a really good content for you today. And, you know, El Decor's take on it was that you're going to save a lot of money by hiring a designer. Right. You can give a few examples that they gave.
Their first reason, I think it was that we save you money. And I always tell people this too, that it feels counterintuitive to say that because you're paying a designer a fee, obviously, but the things that we know and the way that we can like expedite a project is so much more efficient than you trying to do it on your own.
Yeah.
Not only that, but we've done this for a long time.
We do it all day, every day.
We breathe it. We text about this at night. We're constantly in it and we're constantly in it with the builder. So we're seeing like what the market's doing. We're seeing like what building materials are available. We're meeting with reps for tile, for wood, for carpet, for all these things that are important to you that you're going to be living against. Literally, like you're going to be touching these surfaces. And if you don't know what's available, you know, you might spend money, the same cost on something that's like very inferior to what you could experience and live with, because you're not going to do this again for a long time. Right.
Yeah.
And not even just that. One of the first things that we do when we get a set of plans is we space plan to make sure that before they dig ground, that you're not spending stupid money on a room that's like ridiculously large that doesn't fit at all what you just explained to us you want this house to feel like. If you want cozy, if you want these things, it's hard for someone that doesn't know what they're looking at to look at a floor plan and say, that looks about right. You know, and then once it's framed, they're like, oh my gosh, this is huge.
What did I do?
What did I do? And then they start buying furniture at the wrong places. And then they buy 10 sectionals because they can't find the right one.
Yeah.
And they look different in the showroom than they do in your house. So there are just a lot of like T's that we cross, I's that we dot to make sure that like when someone's buying, you know, these investment pieces, that they'll actually fit in their home.
Totally.
You know, and that they'll give you the feeling that you want and the look that you want. If you're minimal, we take that into account. What are your like visible points at every like pathway? And if you're maximalist, like how many layers do we need to fit into this home? Anyway, there's so many components to what we do, and we do it differently every time because every single client we work with is different, you know, and
the process is the same. The taste level, the desire for a different outcome. That's where it differs. Right.
Yeah. And I think you owe it to yourself to find somebody, or for you to introspectively like think about who am I? What do I want this house to be? As you build this house, you owe that to yourself and to your family and for this backdrop that you're building. Because if you do the same thing that everybody else is doing, or you're buying what's in stock at Home Depot, that's a disservice to you.
Totally.
100%. A designer will help you not do that and to figure out who you are.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. Yeah.
Totally. Really quick, a word from Cozy Earth. This is something that I think we're all going to be able to agree on. The value of a good night's sleep is so important. Am I right?
I'm so tired, you guys. I have a 7-year-old, a 2, and a new. Like, I am not sleeping these days, but man, when I get in my bed at night and the Cozy Earth sheets, I have lots of sheets that I've loved, but there's something about the Cozy Earth sheets that it just wraps around me. And it's so soft. Everything's going to be okay, even if he starts crying in 2 hours for a bottle. So
totally.
Yeah.
At least the 2 hours will be good sleep.
It'll be incredible. And I can't wait to crawl back into them after he goes down.
Definitely. For a limited time, save 35% on Cozy Earth bedding. You guys are so lucky. 35%. Check out their awesome loungewear too. We have the loungewear.
It's amazing.
I have 2 sweatshirts.
You do.
I bought out of my own free will and choice. I love it so much.
Yeah.
And I have their loungewear set.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah. Anyway, I'm so happy we get to talk about them today.
Draped in heaven.
Yeah. Go to cozyearth.com/DearAlice and enter our special promo code Dear Alice, DearAlice at checkout and save 35% right now. You guys got to get it. It's so amazing. You can start with the sheets if you want. We actually started with the loungewear.
And it was,
And then we finally got the sheets. We were crazy.
I'm sleeping in your loungewear in the sheets. It's a 360 experience. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Everyone go right now.
Yes. It's all backed by a 100-night sleep guarantee. So there's really no risk. That's cozyearth.com/DearAlice. And be sure to enter Dear Alice at checkout for 35% off.
Thanks, Oprah.
Yes. Okay, let's jump into, again, top 10 reasons to hire a designer. Number 1, I would say our knowledge and our resources, right? Yeah. And we've gained those through experiences. We have got materials at our fingertips. We've got full libraries in our design center. Tile, grout, knobs, all the lighting,
finishes,
accounts with everybody. We can solve for anything in a matter of, days. We'll have your full kitchen designed down to the grout color and which knob you should use and which pendants will hang over your island. Ladies and gentlemen, how long would that take people if they tried to freestyle it out on their own? They wouldn't even know what they needed to know, right?
They wouldn't. They wouldn't. And so your contractor, what would probably happen is if you didn't have a designer, you have maybe a picture, say you find a picture from Pinterest and you're like, I like this. Your builder's going to want to know exactly how you want, like what color exactly, or what stain color you want your cabinets to be, what the hardware is.
He's going to want to know all your appliances.
Oh yeah. All the appliances, very, very, very beginning.
And all your plumbing. And you're going to be like, what? What do you mean by plumbing? Don't forget your dish. Don't forget your disposal. Don't forget your air switch for your disposal. Don't forget your trash cans. Don't forget if you want an ice maker.
And a recycle bin.
Where are you going to put that microwave? Nobody wants to look into it anymore. You know what I mean?
There's so many details.
So many things. Do I want refrigerators? Do I want fridge drawers? Do I want freezer drawers in the island? Do I want all of these things?
Do I do all the same suite? Which ones have like a cabinet over it? Which ones are exposed stainless?
Should I freestyle? Should I do different brands based on what's the most affordable?
How are those going to look next to each other? Oh no.
Yeah. Terrible. You can make a real mess out of it.
Here's the other thing too. In my building experiences, the contractor doesn't think of these things until they are like, we need to know right now. So if you hadn't thought of it already and had something planned, you're going to be choosing from what's in stock or
at Sears.
Yeah. So something that's easily accessible, because they'll be like, hey, we have to know what profile is going on this casing right now. And then you just have to decide, and you have to stop whatever you're doing in your day, because they're going to need materials there the next day for the finish worker or whatever part of the process you're in. So it's a very stressful thing. So if you want to enjoy, I'm really good at making decisions. Actually, building is way stressful for me. So if that's not your thing and you want to enjoy the process, I think a designer can help do that, because it just alleviates you from having to make the decisions and you just get to see it come together. Therefore enjoy it more.
They also know like the playbook, and they know the timeline. They know when they need to get things into the builder based on I said appliances, plumbing. We know we have to get those things before we design a kitchen.
Cabinetry drawings.
All of the things. So.
Also, that changes with time. So if you're like, oh, I actually built a house 6 years ago, like no big deal. Well, it's 2022.
It's a different game, y'all.
Game changed.
Yeah. So like right now, before you're even building or speccing your cabinets, you have to almost have appliances like ordered, because they're going to take 9 months to get.
For sure.
I just want to know something crazy that like some of our better builders have been letting us know, is that we have to have all the decisions made before they even break ground. For like the sake of efficiencies and ordering things, because things are just taking so long. Not only appliances, but hardware is ridiculous. Getting your cabinetry online with the cabinet shop, you have to like be out a long time. And so if you don't have a designer and you're not good at making decisions, like it's going to be really painful to get like your 2-year build just turned into a 4-year build. Really, really quickly, if you're going to have to like provide all that to a builder, if you're not using a designer. So
we save time, we save money, and we give you the confidence. And also like you've got this person that you can call for anything that will help manage or help provide visuals so you understand exactly what you're doing to help illustrate for you, like this is what your kitchen's going to look like. And you know that you're obsessed with it before it even gets built. Yeah.
Okay.
So, that's knowledge and resources. Another thing that I would say is like, we're technicians. So we're making sure your builder understands your vision, what you're wanting to have. And even though some people don't hire designers, someone will still have to fill that in for you. And they're going to have to play that part, right? The technicality. So who are you going to go that's super technical, that's going to do all these drawings for you?
What you're going to end up doing is you're going to have the cabinet shop. If you don't have a designer, you're going to have the cabinet shop that the builders, roped in with, and their cabinetry hardware or software. When they do these drawings for you, it's not going to look like the Pinterest kitchen guys. Cabinetry software is really unattractive. They're looking at the building boxes and they're building these doors, and there's ugly lines everywhere. And you're going to be like, well, that doesn't look anything like my picture. Like, are you sure? Like, should we do this? And then you get insecure because you're like, I don't know if they catch my vision. This is really confusing. And they're not showing any of like the moldings. They go all the way up to the ceilings. And like, that's really confusing. And so what we do as designers, like after, we go through a lot of steps with you even before we get to this point, but we go through the kitchen and make sure that it's smart. Also, we're looking at on floor plan, and we're looking to find all your work triangles. And what that is your, like in a kitchen anyway, we're looking at your fridge to your range to your sink. What does that look like? How do you use it? These are questions that the builder's not necessarily, they're not going to ask you, because they assume that you worked everything out with the architect. The architect may have not asked you either. This may be a standard plan, but by having a designer, a professional look at this and make those adjustments, like this massive investment, one of the most expensive things that you'll ever buy in your life, will be so much more efficient and lovely just by a few tweaks. Honestly, a few tweaks of appliances. And not only that, then we elevate everything. We elevate where the appliances sit. What are your morning routines? We interrogate you and understand all your family's processes, how they work in the morning, how they work at night, what, tabletop appliances they use. How can we conceal those? All those things are considered when we do elevations and when we design cabinetry. It's the first thing that we design in any home is the kitchen, because it's so important and it's so complicated for the cabinet maker to achieve. Yeah. So, and we do it beautifully. We do all the black and white drawings first, and then we Photoshop render it after we've figured out all the finishes and the hardware and the lighting, so that you can visually say, that's it. That's the kitchen of my dreams. And I want to spend, upwards of $100,000 on this space, between cabinetry and appliances.
Totally. I think that's a dream kitchen today. Yeah. At least is $100,000.
Your countertops.
I think a normal kitchen is crazy expensive.
Your appliance bill alone is, tens of thousands. It's a car.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least, unless you want a fancy stove, then you can drop a lot more.
You can drop $60,000 on a range, y'all. Easy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
We live in the future. It's crazy out there.
Expensive future.
But the technicalities too, a lot of us here at our design center, we have 4-year degrees in this, and even with that, school only gets you so far. It's the actual hands on the ground and doing all these homes where we do learn these tricks. And we've been, doing this for a long time. And so those technicalities paired with the knowledge that Jess mentioned is number one. That is what's going to get those drawings to your contractor and have it built successfully.
Also, all of this is not a dig on cabinet makers, people who build cabinets.
Oh, no, not at all.
I've worked in a cabinet shop and things are approached more logically rather than thoughtfully. That's just the way it is.
And artfully, probably.
Yes. Right? So I think that most cabinet makers out there are great at what they do. Let them do that, and then let your designer design, and then have those blend them two together to, get the best result.
Here's a party foul. I have a sister-in-law. They have a big, beautiful home with super tall ceilings, and the architect decided to scale the cabinetry with the ceilings and the big, tall walls. So my sister-in-law, who's a tall person, she's 5'7", right? She's a little taller than average, can only reach the bottom of her cabinetry when she opens a door.
Like the upper?
The bottom of the upper, that first thing. It's not even actually the shelf. It's the bottom ledge.
Wow.
Or you might put glasses in or something. Can't reach anything.
Kids don't have a chance.
Can't reach anything beyond that. You would need to get out a ladder to put away your dishes.
How tall is it?
Generally, it's 18 inches, right?
Well,
above.
It's 36 to your countertop, right. And then you have 18.
And then 18 above that. I'm guessing she probably has at least 30 or 32 above that. So her backsplash is massive.
Ooh, wow.
But one of the things we always do is we say, how tall are the clients? Him and her, or her and her, or him and him. We draw in their heights. We have little humans that we can put in there. And we make sure that she can reach her cabinetry when it's opened. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I just imagine little humans crawling around our drawings. So that's fun. But I know the templates.
We put in those little statues or whatever they are.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just it's so sad because she's been in this house for 12, 13, 15 years. Never used a shelf in her whole kitchen.
That's so
it's maddening.
Sad.
I go there and I'm like, how do you put away the dishes? Oh, step stool.
Send Timmy up there on my shoulders.
They really do have a son named Tim. Anyway, it's crazy. One other thing I'll say is the timing of things is also really crucial. And unless you're in the industry and you're in it every day of your life, you don't understand the ebb and the flow between what is happening currently in the marketplace. We all know that we've been sitting in a pandemic for a couple of years now. One of the crazy things that's happened besides appliances being a year out, windows, trusses, all of those things delayed, right? You can't get air conditioning units.
Yeah.
There's just crazy things that right now, right? One of the things that's happening in the furniture industry is it takes a full year to get some upholstery made right now.
Sofa.
I ordered a sofa last October. I'm expecting it in October of this year. Like I could have called in a special favor, but I need my clients to get their sofas more than I need mine. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so it's that you're now ordering furnishings. If somebody desires to move into their home with new furniture, you're ordering those just as soon as you get the design to the builder so he can break ground. We're doing furniture right away so we can get that ordered so that when they move in, they can have their chandeliers hanging and somewhere to sit, somewhere to sleep, you know, so that they don't have to move twice and like move their old stuff in and then slowly have a garage sale in their new neighborhood. Like that's a terrible way to start.
Here's the biggest bummer. And I had to do this a lot and I did not love it.
Yeah.
When I moved into my house, there were some things that were just some lighting that wasn't there. So you do what's called capping it. If you can, if it's not needed for code, you just put a little cap over it and you wait for the light fixture. But then you're like waking up at 7 o'clock because an electrician is trying to come to your house before they have to go another job. And you already been in your house for 2 months because they're going to come and install your thing that's already there. And so you're like just waking up and they're knocking on your door and waking your kids up and you're making breakfast and they're installing chandelier in the dining room. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's so annoying. So like being able to think through the process and know, you know, it's kind of like a game of chess. You have to know what move you're going to make in 4 moves from now.
Right.
To kind of coordinate all that.
Totally. And the thing that the designer does too is we are creating schedules for all the subcontractors. And so like give them an example of what would be on a schedule. Because those of you that aren't going to hire a designer, you should probably do something like this.
So we have schedules for every category. We have a plumbing schedule. You have a lighting schedule. We have a light bulb schedule often for the electrician. So they know what light bulbs to be ordered. We have, you know, just everything, paint schedules. We have door schedules that, you know, like if we have, you know, different finishes on different doors. We have schedules for every single category, flooring schedules. And so tile schedules, think about every single bathroom you have, every backsplash.
Tile drawings.
Yeah, tile drawings. Anyway, we upload all this info. As we design a room, we show it to the client. They approve it. We make edits. We then, after everything is agreed on that this is what we want to look like, we go and annotate. So we're calling out every surface with a tag. That tag for tile, TO1, goes into the schedule with all the definitions of that, with the grout, with the sizing. And then anyway, goes in tile drawings.
If you don't do that, then all you're ever going to get is straight lay or offset. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like you couldn't create patterns with your subways or anything special because all you're going to say is like, just run that on up the wall, make sure and use this grout, you know?
And then if you're your tile guy's ready and they're like, and I feel like all the subs are on like super tight schedules right now.
Right.
You know, if you can get people there, right? If you don't have that schedule or you don't have that information and you're kind of chilly dicking around and you don't have the information, they're going to go to the next job while you're trying to like figure out what to do or how to communicate to them. So,
and then you're going to be waiting on them because they might not get back to you in time.
Totally.
Also, going back really quick, a schedule, when you refer to schedule, it's not like a calendar date. No, it is like specifications.
It's a list. It's a list that like lists out every single piece of tile in your home and where it is and how it's applied and profile. What drawing it's in relationship to.
Yep.
So those are the schedules. And so there's a lot of technicalities, a lot of documentation because we have to dimension everything and we annotate every single thing to coordinate with the schedule.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of work and a lot of hours, but if you have a good designer, they're efficient and they know how to do it, you know,
overall it's time. Your designer is saving you time.
100% saving you time
and money.
And saving you money because you're not spending dumb money.
Or making mistakes, because if your builder calls you and say, hey, what's the tile in this bathroom? And you're like, oh, TL03. And then he, the next day is like telling the tile guy like, oh, it's TL0. And he's like, I think they said 4. And then you wrong tile or wrong color or whatever that may be. Yeah. So it might be something you just have to live with if that's the case, or
I'm really proud of our team and the tech. I'm just going to like just my own mama pride. I'm really proud of like how technical we are because we've had a lot of builders come and say, we want to work with Alice Lane because they provide all the documentations that we need. A lot of designers might just provide like a vignette that's a picture of a tile and a picture of a fireplace and a picture of like these things that are pretty, but there's no context.
Right.
There's no context. There's no detail on how to actually build this thing that you dream of.
Yeah.
And I think we provide a lot of context. So.
Yeah. And out of the entire process, the designer is going to touch every single aspect, right down to us showing your house cleaner how to make the bed. Yeah. Everything.
It's crazy because expected it when we do become partial expert in every single category of a home. It's crazy. We have people that we call, that are more expert on finish work. I have a countertop gal I call all the time.
Yeah.
Or I send her a picture. I'm like, what stone is this? This is amazing. I saw it in this Italian Vogue. And she'll tell me, like, we have those resources, to call and to quickly like be our fast pass or Disneyland fast pass, because we have been doing this for so long.
Yeah. So, that's great. Our Rolodex, our resources, it helps us solve problems way faster than anybody just getting into the game and not knowing where to start. Right. Yeah. So that's really great. Not to mention that the experience of it all and the connections, but the vision, I think we can keep the same vision running throughout the whole home, because there comes a time when people are like, I think I'm going to try this, 4 rooms on down the line. Yeah.
We stayed at a hotel and I really liked how they did that.
Yeah. You're like, oh, groovy. Like that just popped out of nowhere, So I think we kind of keep the house like plumb straight, true to what it's supposed to be, what that vision was that we all agreed on in the North Star, so that when you walk through the home, it's cohesive. It feels right. The lighting feels like it flows one design to the next. The finishes flow one to the next, Yeah,
no, it is a delicate dance, because I think a lot of people, you're listening to this and you're probably thinking the same thing. You like a lot of things. You can like a lot of things. But I think if you have a good designer who has a curated eye, they'll know how to combine those things to be like, hey, you like traditional, but you also like modern art. Okay. Or modern things. Then like, if you really want a traditional home, let's build this traditional shell. And then I know how to inject attitude and modernity, through the top layer, but you kind of need somebody to tell you that, to really like interrogate you. And that's one thing that we do, is we really try and understand the feeling of a home, the style that you're going for. We see the architectural plans as we're working with the architect, but then like, what do you want that to feel like, And so we really get down to that. And then we'll make what we call a North Star packet, which has a bunch of just inspirational images per space. And it all feels really good together, but it kind of helps you identify, and you can be like, I love that. Oh no, that doesn't, my husband hates red. Let's bounce that, so we can kind of edit that and really come to a really beautiful conclusion of what this home needs to be. So whether you have a designer, whether you don't, know what you like, know what you want this home to be, and be super deliberate about how you choose these. Give yourself time, hire a designer, for goodness sake, if you can, and make sure your vision is consistent through the whole thing. Yeah,
that's good. We also have experience with construction terminology and how things are made. So we can sit with a builder and problem solve. We also know building codes, what certain things can or can't be made of. We know space planning codes. We know how to help somebody if they have ADA, right? Maybe they have an ADA child.
Disability. Yeah,
that's going to live with them forever. And how do we make those spaces function?
Yep.
So, and then I think another really good point for the list is that we're great decision makers, because we make a million decisions probably every year.
Yeah.
Probably every project.
No, I'm like, Jess has said this before, like building a house is just making a million decisions. That's all you're doing. And so if you can be quick to the draw and be like, nope, I like this, I don't like this, and be discerning.
But also it's also to like having the ability to kind of think on your feet, because you're going to make a decision and then somewhere down the line, that decision is going to get broken because it's no longer available, or it's out 10 weeks. So you have to quickly make another decision to get, tile coming, or another base, or something like that. So it's like
creative.
Yeah.
To be a good decision maker, you have to be creative.
And I do think like having a person doing this for you isn't as going to be as emotional, because you hear news like that and guess you just had a really bad day. You know what I mean? And maybe you're emotional, and then you're telling everybody, and then pretty soon they're like, don't hang out with her while she's building her house. She's awful.
That was me when I was building my house. Not gonna lie to you. So yeah.
But the thing is like, as designers, again, we're constantly meeting with reps, and we know, okay, there's a new line that just came out. And I think, if we can get that color, I think that'll be a good compromise, a good reselection for that thing that's discontinued.
Yeah.
So again, back to the resources and back to just like just the vendors that we have relationships with, we can make a reselection for you a lot faster than you hunting and picking it out
before
all over
the
town.
first teardrop can even fall.
I know. Yes.
Yes. I love it. Executing the design, I think, is another great reason to hire a designer. We work directly with the contractor, coordinating everything so that you guys don't have to. There's so many decisions that go into building or remodeling a house, from tile to grout color to ceiling heights to lighting heights to if you need extensions for your rods so that your chandelier will hang at the right color. Designers are going to see that before it happens, and we're going to cover it all. So it also helps avoid a lot of heartache, I think.
Yeah. One time we laid out the design process. How many steps was it? It was a lot. It was okay. We did a bubble diagram of how many different design steps are in the whole process of building a house. And it is a lot. So as far as the execution, it's honestly, it was I was oh my gosh, until we wrote it out, I had no idea. Yeah. But it is, you just executing it from the beginning of development to the last styling, and the last tabletop. We're good at executing, and getting a feeling and I think an overall value to this house of what you've dreamed of, so the execution is huge.
Yeah, most definitely. We've got great vendor connections. We know the brands, what to avoid, which ones, are going to not last after year one. I think that's true across the whole home. We know that all of the carpet brands, your window shade brands, your faucet brands,
countertops,
the reputation of all of these things, countertop materials, if you should use marble or not use marble, or what the best synthetic marble is going to be, because you don't want that. Or anyway, there's just a knowledge bank that makes it a lot less emotional and a lot quicker for us, because we just have all this information sitting in our heads from doing this all day, every day. Here's
an example that you guys gave me when I was building my house.
Yeah.
That saved me money. You were like, hey, here's a little hint, Prestige carpet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Check that out. Which is...
little sister of Stark.
Yes. Yeah. So I was able to get close to the same prints and designs for a cheaper price. So that right there is kind of knowing where to spend your money.
Oh yeah.
And who to buy from.
Listen, we designers don't make a ton of money. And so we always want to look fabulous because we're designers. So we know how to get a look without having to kill ourselves.
That's the 11th reason right there.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, definitely. That's a really good point. And I just think great communication, right? We do this all the time. So we know how to take options and functions and create a happy balance. We know how to talk to both homeowners, because usually one wants something opposite than the other. Yes. So we also play
therapist,
mediator. Yeah, sounding board, and we hear what they're saying, and we're able to usually make them both really happy.
Yeah.
So cool. Yeah, there's a lot of hats that a designer wears. And I think it's invaluable.
Yeah.
So
I'll say back to just vendor and just you mentioned something knowing where to invest.
Yeah.
I think that's really important. Not only with the interior finishes that you're skinning the whole house with, knowing what's going to give you the most bang, right? Mm-hmm. We know that the countertop, that's going to be a huge, huge player. Right.
Right.
And so we're going to be hey, let's invest in that while we go to a more another tile pattern that we can do simple cuts on for your flooring over here. We'll know where to give you the most bang, not only there, but then in furniture too. Your interior designer should be able to steer you towards a sofa or a sectional that's going to last for a long time. I don't think that you should cheap out on stuff that you're going to interact with. And a good designer, I don't think would ever do that to you, because that's going to be the most hardworking pieces in your home if you're with a family. Definitely. And so we're going to know functionally what is important and what things can be the high-low game. A good designer knows how to do the high-low.
Yeah. And I will tell you, everybody asks for that.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Everybody does.
The wealthiest of clients still want the high-low game because they're smart. It's a smart way to live.
I watch a real estate shows because I love beautiful properties. And we carry a brand called Mitchell Gold Bob Williams. They're just a bread and butter brand. Most of you have heard of them. We're the only dealer in the state of Utah that has them. And we'll be you know what? It's okay. We're running out of money. Let's just do a Mitchell Gold sofa, or Mitchell Gold chairs or whatever. As I watch these $1 million, $1 billion homes kind of thing, they're using Mitchell Gold. They're not using the tippity top of the line. It's great. Even the most wealthy people use common named furniture, but we know which silhouettes look more designer than the others, and we can plug those in to really give you a look that you're interested in, that you've always dreamt of, maybe putting in a different fabric that's going to look less common and all of that. So,
but I know that Mitchell Gold's not going to carry that little antique chair that you like, it's turn of the century. That's iconic.
Yeah.
That's in every single image I see you pin. Mm-hmm. You know, I know where to find that or how to get that.
Yep.
When you don't have, I don't have a lot of money, and I like to get a high low as well. And obviously, you know, most of the time because of budget restrictions, I'll have to do the low, but sometimes I'm like, I want to see what the high is and to see what the difference. Right. So maybe I want to splurge for that thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a game that everybody should and does play. So
I think it's good to educate yourself. I mean, mostly if you're interested in this, which I'm going to say, if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably interested in design. Mm-hmm. So I think it's always good to be inspired by the greats and then figure out how to get it with your budget. Mm-hmm. And designers do it all day, every day. So anyway, there's our top 10 reasons to hire an interior designer. I hope that this helps. Let us
may have had a couple bonus ones in there.
Yeah, for sure.
It was like bullet points.
Yes.
Subcategories.
Definitely. If you guys have any questions, feel free to always send them into Dear Alice at alicelanehome.com. We would love to answer them. Mm-hmm. I know you guys, I get them all the time in my DMs. Yep. There's a lot of questions out there. So we'll make sure and do a questions podcast really soon to answer a bunch of them in a row. If it's a really a good question, like
juicy topic
like this, a juicy topic, then we'll do a whole podcast on it. So make sure and keep talking to us. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll catch you next time.
At Alice Lane, we believe that you should have spaces in your home that you love and fit your lifestyle. This can be difficult to achieve, and that's why we created something for you. It's our home furnishing design service. We have a team of skilled designers who will work with your budget, help you space plan, and curate each space down to the very last layer to transform your home. The most amazing part is the service is complimentary. That's free, people. Our designers are available nationwide, and they'll work with you in store, in home, virtually, or over the phone. For more details and information, email us at designrequest@alicelanehome.com or call us at 800-423-7757, or you can click on the link in our show notes.
Hey, thanks for listening. If you like our show, please leave a 5-star rating.